All right, congratulations. Your offer was finally accepted on a home that you love, and you're excited. You're popping champagne, you're telling your family, your friends, and you can't wait to be a homeowner. And you should be excited, but pump the brakes for just a second, because there's a lot that needs to happen between now, the time when your offer was accepted, all the way to about 30 days from now when you officially close, sign, and get your keys and can move into your new house. So in this video, we're gonna walk through not only the steps that need to be taken immediately after your offer is accepted as a buyer, but the steps that are happening in the background that all contribute towards you closing and getting the keys to your new house. So stick around, we're gonna go through everything step by step so you as a buyer feel comfortable with the process when you go to buy a home. And as always, if you find the videos that we make helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you get alerted anytime that we drop new content. And also check the description below for ways to call, text, or email us if we can help you get your home sold for top dollar or orchestrate a smooth move into the Cleveland area. We got you covered on both. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get into what you need to do as a buyer after your offer is accepted on your new home. Alrighty, so before we get into these steps, I just want to let you know that all of these steps and suggestions and information is coming from the viewpoint of me, a real estate agent, okay? And as many of you already know, there's a lot of people that are involved in a real estate transaction. Everyone from agents to buyers to sellers to lenders to title companies to inspectors. There's a ton of different people. And so different people are gonna have different types of expertise. And so if you want real specific information about the loan process, or maybe how title work is processed, or what the role of a title company is or what they do, you can reach out to them directly, and your agent can help facilitate those conversations. And so the information that I'm going to give you is based on what is written in a purchase agreement, in our contract or our offer to purchase a home, and what needs to happen on the buying side in order to make sure that this transaction closes and you get the keys to your new home, okay? So let's start it out with step number one. So as soon as your offer is accepted, I like to send an email out to all my clients that says next steps, with certain steps and dates and criteria that needs to be met at specific times. And if it's not met at specific times that are outlined in our contract, we could run the risk of that contract becoming void and you missing out on the home. So it's super important that especially these next three steps are hit and met at the exact time that's stated in our contract, so that we don't fall out of contract and you miss out on the home. All right, so step number one is deposit your earnest money, okay? So earnest money is also known as a good faith deposit, and this is a number that is going to be outlined on the first page of your purchase agreement. All right, so this is an opportunity for a buyer to show the seller that they're serious about moving forward with the purchase of your home. Okay, and it gives the buyers a chance to kind of have skin in the game and deposit money or write a check, usually to the title company, well before the closing date. Okay, so that's exactly what needs to happen. Step number one is for you, the buyer, to deposit your earnest money. And in the contracts or the purchase agreements that I help buyers with, usually they have 4 days from the time that we have a signed agreement to get this money deposited with the title company, okay? And once your money is deposited, make sure you get a receipt saying that you did deposit your earnest money. Send that receipt to your real estate agent, and they will get that to the selling side to say, hey, this, we deposited our earnest money and we're ready to continue to move forward, okay? That's step number one, is deposit your earnest money. All right, step number two is to alert what I like to call your closing team and start your formal loan application as a buyer, okay? So let's start with your closing team. There's a lot of people that are affiliated with a real estate transaction, okay? But the two main parties that need a copy of the purchase agreement that you, the buyer, and the seller have both signed is your lender and the title company. So it's the responsibility of your real estate agent, the buyer's real estate agent, to make sure that both the lender and the title company have copies of this purchase agreement. They know who's involved in the transaction, both on the buy and the sell side. They know the closing date, and they have all that information as soon as possible. So really, as soon as you're under contract, your agent should be sending copies of this purchase agreement to both the lender and the title company. Also, written in the contract are specific criteria and deadlines that need to be met and that pertain to your lender in terms of approving the loan, and also the title company in terms of, you know, prorated property taxes and withholding money for final water bills and all these type of things. So it's really important that both of those parties have a copy of the purchase agreement so that they can get everything processed and closed on time. And again, this is the responsibility of the buyer's real estate agent to send this information to both the lender and the title company. All right. And then also formal loan application. So usually this needs to happen within 5 days of a signed purchase agreement. Okay. So within 5 days, you as the buyer need to fill out and apply for your formal loan. All right. So you've likely already been pre-approved for a loan, but now you need to go through the process of formally applying for that loan and getting approved. Okay. So what this is going to entail is getting with your lender, and they're going to give you all the steps necessary to get this done. So they're going to be asking for additional documentation or updated documentation. So if you were pre-approved, let's say 2 months ago, they're going to need updated information and the most accurate information, from employment history to pay stubs to, you know, proof of assets and all these type of things. And so, you know, the biggest advice that I can give here is make sure that as soon as you're under contract, you're reaching out to your lender and saying, hey, my real estate agent should have sent you a copy of the purchase agreement. We're under contract. What do I need to do to start my formal loan application? Okay. And then getting your lender all the information they need as quickly as possible so there's no delays with closing. All right. So that's step number 2, is alert your closing team and start your formal loan application. Step number 3, and this is the responsibility of the buyer, is to schedule your home inspection. So I always recommend that my buying clients get a general home inspection, have that as one of the contingencies in their offer. It just gives you, you know, it just covers you from any big issues that you may not have seen when you originally sell the house. So in most contracts that I write, you've got 7 days from a signed agreement to complete your home inspection. Okay, so it's really important that you call an inspector and get a date locked down, because they can be super busy. So as soon as you're under contract, that should be, you know, one of the first 2 people that you call is your home inspector to get a date scheduled to complete the inspection. All right. After the inspection is completed, you've got 3 days, at least in our contracts here in Cleveland, Ohio, you've got 3 days to basically respond to the seller about what you want to do as the buyer. You can either take the house as is after the inspection, everything was fine, you're ready to move forward. You can ask for or negotiate any type of repairs or credits or reduction in price, or you can walk away from the deal altogether because maybe there's too many red flags that you're not comfortable with and you want to back out of the deal altogether. So those are really the 3 options that you can take after the inspection happens. But it's important that the inspection is ordered and completed within the 7 days from when a signed purchase agreement was completed. All right. And then remember that your approval for your loan is not contingent upon that home inspection. Okay. So again, the home inspection is ordered and paid for completely separately by the buyer. Okay. So your lender is not going to be waiting for the results of that home inspection. The lender, you know, definitely realizes that that's a pivotal point in the process, in that things do tend to fall out of contract a lot or get held up after the inspection, because there's a lot of negotiation and things that can happen. But it's not, your loan is not pending that home inspection. But what your loan is pending, what's happening behind the scenes at the same time, is an appraisal. So the next step is your lender is going to be ordering an appraisal. And sometimes, you know, they can order appraisal and it doesn't happen immediately. It may take, a few days or even a week for the appraiser to finally get out there. But just know that that will be happening as well. And another hurdle that needs to be crossed prior to closing, okay? So an appraisal is basically just an opinion of value. So the lender is going to order and send out a licensed appraiser that is going to tell them if the amount that you are asking for your loan is the property worth that much, okay? And so somebody will go out there and just verify that, and they'll use comps or comparable homes that have recently sold or on the market in the area to determine if it's a good investment on the side of the lender to give you that money, all right? And so Appraisal is kind of the next step, and that's going on in the background. Also going on in the background is going to be your lender hustling to make sure that your loan is getting processed and approved as quick as possible. And one of the last steps to ensuring that happens is called underwriting. So your loan is going to be sent to underwriting, which is one of the final layers of approval. And in times when they check to verify that, you know, the person you say you are, the amount of money you say you make, the assets that you say you have, all that matches up and is approved through all the documentation that they've collected. Then on top of that, they're verifying that you are meeting all the criteria specific to your type of loan. So every type of loan is slightly different with the criteria that's needed to get approved. So whether it's a conventional loan or an FHA loan or a VA loan, there's different requirements and things that need to be met in order for you to get approved. And so the underwriting process is one of the last layers to ensure that all those things are being done and that they've been met. Okay. So the underwriting process will be going on in the background. Once you show that you've gotten home insurance for your home, the appraisal results have come back. You've reviewed what are called the closing disclosures. So this is basically the line-by-line items that show how much you're going to be paying at closing. Once all those things have happened, then you'll be given final approval for your loan. Once you have final approval for your loan, you can schedule signing. What that means is you're going to be meeting with a notary, either in the comfort of your own home, or you can go to the title company to have this done. But you're going to be sitting down and signing all your formal loan documents and your closing documents. And then once that's done, you'll be either writing a check or wiring your money to the title company for your down payment and the remaining balance that needs to be owed at closing. And then from there, you'll get the final word that the home is closed, and you can get your keys and finally move in. So that is the basic process from an accepted offer to a fully signed purchase agreement all the way to closing date. So you can kind of see why it takes sometimes 30 days in order for all that to happen. But my biggest piece of advice is get on top of these things early. Listen to your real estate agent, listen to your lender, listen to your title company, and stay on top of all the information that they're asking you to provide for them so we can close on time and you can move into your new home. Alrighty, so thanks for joining us, and I hope this video helped, and we'll see you next time.